Hi everybody, I just wanted to hop on YouTube because I'm doing something right now which I feel like, maybe somebody else might, find this useful. I have loads of kind of leftovers in the fridge I had from the holidays and stuff. I have these like shrimp cocktail shrimps we got at the fishmongers, and we never ate them because we didn't have a huge gathering or anything. So we still have some left over, and I didn't know what to do with them. And my kids don't really like shrimp cocktail. So I have these, I had like a few tomatoes that were kind of, rotting in the fridge. Not, they weren't rotten, but they weren't looking too good. Like I wasn't going to do like a nice salad with them. And an old red pepper and, leftover chorizo. And a couple of things like that. And I thought, gosh, what am I going to do with it? And when you have these leftover foods and you just think, gosh, what am I going to make? But I don't want to throw them out because then I would get into trouble because we don't like throwing stuff out. So I decided I'm going to make my schlepped together paella. So paella is something we really like. We don't make it very often. Most of the time we're going to make it in summer. That's the kind of time where we have loads of people over, and we'll it's a nice meal to have when you're a lot of people. But it's also nice to have as a family or when you're just a couple, like 4 or 5 people. And it's really easy to assemble and to make. I'm going to make it with leftovers. Now, this is not the classic recipe. So if you're, Spanish or live in Spain and you're like, this is not the true paella, it's not supposed to be. This is my little quick version of it. Okay, so quickly, and I'm not going to show you the final product now. I'm just telling you, like, this is what happens on a Saturday night with leftovers at our house if you want to make paella. Okay, I'll post an Instagram picture tomorrow when I take a picture of this. Okay, so the first thing I do is I take an onion, I chop it finely. You can use a yellow onion, white onion, red onion, doesn't matter, whatever onion you've got, medium onion, chop it up finely with some olive oil. So that's in here, okay? So I, cook it at low for about 5-6 minutes so it gets translucent. At that point, I add the garlic. I chopped up 2 cloves of garlic. Here, you can put more, You could also put more onion. It's up to you. But I'm not like, I don't like having too much garlic and onion. So I put that in there. Oh, just a little hack. If you're ever chopping garlic, okay, and it gets stuck in the chopper and you want to take all the little bits out, you just put a little bit of water because garlic gets really sticky, right? So I just put a little bit of water. I know it's not gonna, it's gonna go all over the pan and stuff and it's gonna be watery, but it's okay. See? And I get rid of all the garlic in here. So the reason I put garlic after is because, you could put it all at the same time and it's not the end of the world, but if you are cooking it with onion, the onion will cook faster than the garlic will cook faster than the onion. So if you're doing it on high heat, it's gonna burn, right? Whereas the onion won't burn right away. So I like to, put the garlic a little bit after the onion. But here, because it's on kind of low heat, it's not a big deal. So I do that. Now, the other thing I did was I have a Vitamix. If you don't own a Vitamix, it's okay. You can just use any regular blender. But Vitamix is really, really nice. Any high-speed blender is really nice because it allows you to really make a smooth puree. Like I just put 3 tomatoes in here and I blitzed it with red pepper, the old red pepper that was hanging around the fridge. I seeded it. If you like, I also like to take out the skin of the pepper, but whatever. I guess if it's organic and stuff, it's not a big deal. But it is easier to digest if you take out the skin. Anyway, and so I blitzed it and I made this wonderful puree. You see? It's very silky smooth. And with a regular blender, it won't be as smooth. Not a big deal in this case, but if you were to make like a tomato soup or whatever, Vitamix is like really good for that. Anyway, so here I am. So I've got the garlic, I've got the onions, the pureed tomatoes and pepper. The original recipe would tell you to like chop it all finely, like to chop these guys finely and to make like a sofrito kind of thing. But I don't have time, can't be bothered. I'm just working with leftovers, okay? So, and I don't want to like spend too much time cutting stuff up. So there we go. Once the garlic and onion are nicely, done cooked, I add in this little puree. It's going to simmer. I put it on a bit of a higher heat. It simmers for a bit. I'm gonna add salt. I like to use, I change the types of salts I use. But I vary, and either I use sea salt, because sea salt has all these like natural minerals in it, and it's better than like the regular table salt you get at the supermarket. Or I like Himalayan sea salt, so I'm gonna use this one, just a little bit. But I don't want to put too much salt, because then I will be adding stock, and I will be adding the chorizo and the little shrimps and stuff. So like I'll just add salt as we go, and I don't want to add too much at the beginning. Okay, so I'm gonna let this simmer for a bit. Now, just so you know, I'm not going to actually like be cooking this whole thing now. These are already cooked, right? These are like shrimp, cocktail shrimps. They've got the skin and the head on and everything. So I would need to either, if you're in a lazy mood, you just leave them as is, you just rinse them, and you toss them like 10 minutes before everything's done, because they're already cooked. So you don't want to like cook them for 40 minutes or whatever like you would with the rice. Same if you've got like chicken or like the chorizo, for example. I have chorizo. Here it is. We've got little odds and ends here. I'm just gonna cut it up like into 1 inch kind of like big chunks, and I'm gonna toss them in at the end, like 10-15 minutes before the end, when it's the risotto, like the paella is like getting kind of cooked and almost cooked. That's when I do it. So don't bother with them now. It's not a big deal. So this is nicely kind of simmering. Then what I'm gonna do is, for paella, it's like one of those dishes where, the real rice that you want to use is la bomba rice, and la bomba rice is like, what arborio rice is to risotto. Well, la bomba rice is to a paella. So you would use that. It's like a starchy round rice. And I don't have any, and I don't even have any risotto. And I have like the only starchy rice I have is rice pudding rice. Why? Because I like tested the hell out of rice pudding a few weeks ago, because for my ebook I have a really, really good rice pudding recipe with like cherries and stuff, and it's amazing. So if you do have the ebook, definitely check that recipe out. But I have so much rice pudding rice now, so I'm gonna just use this. What you want to do is, once this is reduced a little bit, which mine hasn't yet, but once it reduces a little bit, then you add the rice, and you mix it, okay? And you coat the rice in all of the the vegetable mixture and everything, and then you keep adding kind of water until you feel like it's cooked. I don't measure anything, okay? And I don't want to give you any measurements, because this rice is different from arborio, from whatever. And at the end of the day, it just needs to feel like cooked, but not like you don't want undercooked rice. That's just the only thing you don't want. You don't want it to be super mushy, but the nice thing about paella is, like, unlike risotto, it can accept some mushiness. You know what I mean? Like risotto, if you've got like mushy risotto, it's not going to be good. It's not meant to be mushy at all. Risotto is meant to be creamy, slightly al dente. It's just, that's how it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be clumpy. Paella can, you know, like some clumpiness is okay. Which is why the whole water measuring thing, I wouldn't like get too worked up about it. I know that used to be the stressful thing for me when I was making it the first few times, but now I don't even care anymore. So, because we are, you know, 4 eaters and we love to eat, I'm gonna take, you know, I would say probably almost half of this rice, which is 500 grams of this rice. And so you see, I'm not even really measuring. Let's just put it in a bowl to make it look kind of pretty. All I know is that it's, you know, maybe not quite 500 grams. All right, I'd probably put less than that. So, and that will serve, like I say 4 eaters, but it's actually like 6 or 7, right? It's just that we eat a lot and we like to have leftovers of it and stuff. And leftover paella is amazing. So I put this in here, okay? I'm just gonna drizzle it like this up. And then what's gonna happen is I'm gonna coat it, like I said. And what you do is you just kind of let it absorb. What I've got though is I've got stock. Oops. Yes, I just hit myself with the microwave door. Okay, so I've got stock here in my big coffee mug. This is about like, I'd say 2 cups, maybe a cup and a half of stock. You're probably gonna need way more than this. Probably gonna need like 6 cups, okay, or more. But again, add as you see fit. And so as this is cooking up, what I'm also going to be doing is I'm going to take saffron. So, you know, I'm of Iranian heritage. My dad's Iranian. And so saffron for me is like really important. And I don't like taking saffron that's not, you know, good quality Iranian saffron. I know there are a lot of places that make saffron. And I know a lot of people who will make paella and use something else that's like a mix of saffron with other stuff. I'm not into that. And I use mine, okay? But if you want to use another kind, go right ahead. So the way I do it, because I've got these, this is another little kind of hack of mine, and I think I may have a YouTube video on this, is, see, so these are the saffron threads, right? Like here, you see how they're like, oops. Oh, look, maybe I'll show you this, right? They're like, you know, pistils. So these pistils, you don't actually want to seed them, right? You want it to be in a powder. So what I do is I take a pinch of these pistils. I also take some like rock salt, and I'm going to take and I have this pestle and mortar that are made of stone. And I'm just going to smash and like, you know, pestle and mortar the hell out of this saffron. And salt. My mom, when she used to do this, she would use a little sugar cube, because that works well. Because the crystal of the salt or the sugar will break up the saffron, you see. And then you end up with this wonderful powder. Like, I don't know if you see this properly, but it's like, it's really pretty powder. And that will easily dissolve with stock into your mixture here, okay? So, there you go. There. So, I'm going to put a little bit of this stock so that you see what's going on over here. This is what my rice is looking like, right? It's just kind of sauteed. And, you know, it's not like absorbed everything yet, but almost. And when it starts getting a bit sticky at the bottom of the pan, what I'll do is I'll add some of the stock, all right? So, here we go. I'll add some stock, just a bit. And this saffron, I can put it in the rest of the stock, okay? So like that, it it goes, you know, I'll have saffron stock. And for the stock, I use a vegetable stock. Like it's this like nice organic vegetable stock I get. But you can use whatever. You can use chicken stock. It depends of what you put in your paella as well. So I'm putting seafood. I could have taken a fish stock or a vegetable stock like I'm doing is great. If you have chicken in your paella, then by all means, you know, put some chicken stock. There you go. And the saffron just adds a really nice taste and a nice color. If you don't have saffron, which is totally, you know, possible, because not everybody's got saffron in their pantry, what I would do in that case is I would take smoked paprika, if you have. This is smoked paprika that I have, that I brought back from Dubai actually, because I wasn't sure that they would have it in France. It's not such a thing in France, smoked paprika. But you get it in like Spain and you get it elsewhere and like obviously in the US. So smoked paprika is really, really nice. And I put some anyways with in this stock. I'll put a little bit. And I especially put some if I'm not adding chorizo, because chorizo has a smoked paprika taste. So when I put it, I don't necessarily put in the smoked paprika. But if you don't have saffron and you want to give extra taste, and you don't have the chorizo and you want to give extra taste to your rice and to your stock, definitely put some, like put a teaspoon of it. You could also put a little bit of curcumin, or like turmeric, because that's gonna give it the nice color, and you're gonna have like a reddish orange kind of color, and there you have it. So this video is long enough as is, so I'm not gonna go through the whole thing because it's gonna take 40 minutes. I'll post it later, but this is what it's looking like, right? And like I said, if most of the stuff, like most of the meats you have are pretty like easy, already cooked, like in the case of the shrimp and the chorizo, you only put it 15 minutes before the end. Like this is gonna take a good 20-30 minutes of me going like this, putting stock, going like this, putting stock. And at the end of that, you put your cooked meats or seafood. If something's not cooked, like if you've got chicken that you want to put in there, then put it 20 minutes or 30 minutes before, just to be safe, right? Because you want it to be cooked through. If you've got leftover chicken, you can put it in here at the last minute. If you've got mussels, then mussels is a different thing. I would make them separately and then put them in. But like most people don't have mussels hanging around their fridge. So yeah, I would just cook them separately, put them in at the end, or you know, you could put a couple to cook 15 minutes before in the rice, but that's a bit trickier. So I wouldn't venture with mussels for that. All right, so there you go. This is my schluck together paella for Saturday night. I will post a picture, so go on Instagram and you'll see. If you've got any questions, let me know. I know this was not a very structured recipe, but I do want you to realize that I'm just a, regular gal with like leftover problems and mushy tomato and old red pepper in the fridge problems too. So I'm not Wonder Woman. And this is just very improvised and unstructured, but I wanted to show you that it's not that hard to make, and don't be intimidated by something like paella. All right, have a good one.